Why not?
I think we should have a throne or something.
Automatic locks? You're stuck here?
It's nice.
I've been on antibiotics for a week.
Oh, again?
I feel strange.
Working so cold. Hello, mother.
That is crazy. No chocolate, right? Don't give me more chocolate. I don't need. I'm really hungry. Can I eat the cookies now?
Sure. It was sunny.
Yeah, it's 7. Good evening. I'd like to call the December 23rd, 2024 Borough Council meeting to order. Will the clerk please read the open public meeting statement?
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, specifying the time, date, and location by posting a copy of the notice on the municipal building, municipal website, providing a copy of the annual notice schedule to the official newspaper of the borough, and is on file in the clerk's office.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Revelinsky.
Here.
Councilman Collins.
Here.
Councilman Menko.
Here.
Councilman Poznanski.
Here.
Councilman Potter.
Here.
Councilman Zambrana.
Here.
Mayor Murray.
Present.
Borough Attorney Peter Vignola.
Present.
Borough Engineer Mike McClellan.
Present.
Borough Engineer Lou Plaskanka.
Present.
Borough Administrator Fred Carr.
Present.
Borough Clerk Monica Orlando, present.
Will everyone please stand for a moment of silence, which will be followed by the salute to the flag. Bless you. Now is the time for public comment listed to the resolutions listed on the agenda only. If you wish to speak, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Again, this is the public portion is limited to the comments only on the resolutions listed on the agenda at this time. There'll be a 5-minute time limit set forth by the rules of council. If someone raises their hand, please come up to the microphone and state your name for the record. Name and address for the record. Seeing none, I will close the open portion of the meeting, public portion of the meeting. The minutes for the December 9th, 2024 regular meeting are on the agenda for approval. Are there any comments or corrections? Seeing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes as typed?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion made by Council President Revelinsky, seconded by Councilman Potter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Ordinance public hearing, second reading. The following ordinance was introduced on December 9th, 2024, published in accordance with law. If any member of the public wishes to comment on this ordinance, they may do so after reading. Will the clerk please read ordinance 24-1553 by title?
Ordinance to amend Chapter 25, Water Section 25-4.1 Water Rates of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Milltown.
May I have a motion and a second, please?
I move that this ordinance be adopted. Second.
I have a motion made by Council President Revelinsky, seconded by Councilman Manco. Now I will open up the public hearing on ordinance 24-1553. Please state your name and address for the record. These comments are limited to the comments on this ordinance only. Okay, thank you. I will close the public portion. Does any member of council have any comments?
I don't know, after I got my $471 water bill, I'm not too happy, but I don't know, I really don't have a choice. That's all I have to say.
I'd like to say something. I'm going to speak about the water rates. I've studied all the figures in this bill, as I have done with the interim bill. I've also seen the original rates previous to the last two bills. My complaint is the lowering of the minimum from 7,500 gallons to 5,400 gallons. If the 7,500 gallons had not been in place, I would have agreed to this bill. It appears very fair for the residents. To me, this bill punishes the lower utilizers or the conservers of our precious water, whether they be single men or women or seniors. I will always speak out for the lost causes. Someone has to, and I don't mind if I stand alone. I also speak out for the forgotten men, women, and children in Milltown, and that includes all of us here. We're in a situation because of inflation and how it reaches all areas of our lives, stealing your hard-earned money. We've all seen how much more of everything costs since COVID. We've also seen how our billions in tax dollars go to everyone else except Americans. Not another dime should leave this country. until we have no hungry, impoverished, homeless, and especially homeless veterans. And that's what I have to say.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Revelinsky.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilman Menko.
Aye.
Councilman Poznanski.
No.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
As I said in my last meeting, when we were here together on December 9th, I'd like to thank our Borough Attorney, Peter Vignolo, our Mayor, Mayor George Murray, and our Councilman Potter for pushing this across the line. Aye.
Thank you. Ordinance, public hearing, second reading. The following ordinance was introduced on December 9th, 2024, published in accordance with law. If any member of the public wishes to comment on this ordinance, they may do so after the reading. Will the clerk please read ordinance 24-1554 by title?
Ordinance to amend Chapter 26, Sewer, Section 26-7.9, Sewer Use Charges of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Milltown.
May I have a motion and a second for ordinance 24-1554?
Move that this ordinance be adopted. Second.
I have a motion made by Council President Revelinsky, seconded by Councilman Manco. I will now open a public hearing on ordinance 24-1554. Please state your name and address for the record. Cool. I will close the public hearing. Any council member have any comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just think it's outrageous that we pay so much for sewer, but there's absolutely nothing we can do about it because we're locked into the agreement with New Brunswick. I mean, it's incredible what we have to pay for sewer. I mean, it's more than water. It's almost as much as we're paying, double what we're paying for water. That's all I have to say. I wish there was something I could do to help people, but we're in the contract, so.
Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Revelinsky.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilman Menko.
Aye.
Councilman Poznanski.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Authorizing payment of municipal obligations. Next on the agenda, we have the payment of municipal obligations. Will the clerk please read resolution by title?
Resolution 2024-333, authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $2,681,362.10.
You heard the reading of this resolution. Are there any questions? May I have a motion and a second, please?
I'm looking at page 2. It's, I'll just read it. It's 24-022, 82, Cleary, et cetera. Can this charges please be explained?
Yes, sir, that's the special counsel hired by the borough to do the investigation. That's their final, that should be their final bill.
Okay, thank you. I also have another Rothstein, page 10. The bill this month is $3349.50. Can anyone explain that one? Page 10.
So I missed, which is the bill again? I was flipping my pages,
I'm sorry, it's Rothstein.
2258.
Labor attorney.
Second, or
So
third.
3,349, yes, sir, that's the labor attorney for the borough.
And
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll do after.
On page 10, Suppley Clooney, would we have an idea how long we expect them to be here?
That's fine.
Suppley Clooney?
Are they done, Fred?
Well, they haven't been here all week.
I mean, as far as the length
Yes,
of the duration.
the length of so their contract, now that we have two people in the Borough Hall, okay, in my office, and a finance officer, they have weaned themselves considerably back. Michelle was only here one day last week to assist with the bill list, and that's about it. So they are considerably less than they were 3 months ago when there was no one at the end of the hall but Suppley, Clooney, and me.
So you see the two women, they're getting up to speed fairly quickly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You had something, Councilman Collins?
No, I was going to ask about Suppley Cooney, but Fred answered the question, so.
Okay. May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Potter, seconded by Council President Revelinsky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Revelinsky.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilman Manco.
Aye.
Councilman Poznanski.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
A consent resolution has been prepared for the resolutions listed on the agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by Borough Council will be enacted on in one motion. Any items may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated on as separate matter. Any items requiring expenditures are supported by certification of funds. If any member of council wants any resolution acted upon individually, please give me the resolution number, and it will be pulled from the consent resolution.
I just had a question, Mike, on this 336 Northbrook Drive. Do you know when that's going to start?
Microphone.
Thank you.
Yes, Lord?
I'll try again. So, as you know, tonight, we're recommending award to the contractor. What will happen is then there'll be a pre-construction meeting, and I would say that there may be some work they can do in the wintertime, but in order to minimize impact to the residents, it's probably going to start springtime. But we'll
Springtime.
try to, if you want us to try and expedite it, we will. But I think we're in the interest of trying to keep roads clear through snow removal, things like that, probably best to wait till springtime.
You know, just want to keep the residents informed over there, so.
Yeah. There'll be a series of notices sent out to the residents so they know what's going on.
Thanks, Mike.
My pleasure.
May I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Potter, seconded by Council President Revelinsky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Do you want me to read the consent agenda resolution?
Oh, yeah, you could. Just trying to get out of here quick.
Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meetings upon certain conditions, and whereas each of the following resolutions to be presented before the Borough Council at its December 23rd, 2024 regular meeting appear to have the unanimous approval of all the members of the Borough Council, 2024-335 through 2024-339. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown that each of the above listed resolutions be approved and adopted by the Borough Council with the same legal effect as though each were read in its entirety at the December 23rd, 2024 regular meeting and adopted by separate vote. Council President Revelinsky.
Aye.
Councilman Collins.
Aye.
Councilman Manco.
Aye.
Councilman Poznanski.
Aye.
Councilman Potter.
Aye.
Councilman Zambrana.
Aye.
Reports from elected officials. Council President Revelinsky.
Ford Avenue, decisions are pushed on till January. We're not going to have much going on there until next year. It's surprising, I know there's about 7 days left this year. And as for finance, I'll beat the drum again. I'm really happy that the ordinances for the water and sewer passed. I know a lot of residents were upset over the last few months of what had come out and the $150 increase. By adoption of the ordinances tonight, that is now gone away, and hopefully these rates will carry us through next year based on our water consumption. But it is really going to be up to this body to make the tough decisions for next year on the electric rates, which have been looming over our heads for the past several months as an increase. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Collins.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Manco.
I do have a couple of things regarding the library. Saturday, December 28th, crocheting for beginners at 11 a.m. Monday, December 30th, adult yoga at 9:15 a.m. Movie matinee featuring the Wild Robot at 3 p.m. on January 2nd. Monday, January 6th is a program to help you keep your New Year's resolutions at 6:30 p.m. The library will be closed on Tuesday, December 24th, Wednesday, December 25th, Tuesday, December 31st, and Wednesday, January 1st of 2025. The staff wishes everyone a healthy and happy holiday season and New Year. And then regarding the rec committee, they've had a great year, as has the library, done some very good things. Their winter registration is still open for some of the adult programs, yoga, men's basketball, and women's volleyball. And the deadline to register for youth basketball is January 3rd, and spots are still available. Volunteer coaches are always welcome. The program will start on January 25th, excuse me. There was an ice skating event on Monday, December 16th. 85 people had signed up. It was a great success, and they had about half as many guests that day, though, compared to with the bad weather. But they're fortunate to have a lot of good things going on. The annual tree lighting was on Friday, December 6th, and that was a great success, even with the cold winter that's been upon us. The children in the Fresh Theater Arts Program also put on their production of Beauty and the Beast on November 19th, and there will be more coming with that program soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Poznanski.
I have a small report. It's a DPW report on the Schwindeman property. I took a tour last week. I have investigated the property, its structures, and its ponds for an assessment of the site as a park. The grounds are pie or wedge-shaped, somewhat limiting in its use, in my opinion. The site consists of the integration of the 1950s log cabin structure with the newer addition attached and a deck. There is a 3-car garage and a shed. The site, being abandoned for many years, is in desperate straits in every way possible. The repairs to bring the site up to code and acceptable status would be extremely expensive. I believe council and the mayor could view the site for themselves to come to their own conclusions. This would be a very expensive proposition for an area that is a wetlands, and the taxpayers have other pressing needs. Thank you.
Councilman Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the Milltown Police Department, there are 2 accommodations that Chief Johnson would like for us to recognize. They are as follows. On behalf of the Milltown Police Department, I want to commend Officer Michael McCabe for your outstanding efforts in organizing the holiday toy drive for the children in the Pediatric Oncology Unit at the Rutgers Cancer Institute. Your hard work and dedication have brought joy and comfort to countless children and their families during what is undoubtedly a challenging time in their lives. The smiles you have helped create will be cherished by the children, their families, at the hospital, and staff alike. Your actions reflect the highest standards of compassion, community service, and professionalism. You have brought a great credit to yourself and the Milltown Police Department. Thank you for making such a meaningful difference in the lives of those who need it the most. It was an honor for the other officers and me to help deliver such a large donation of toys. On behalf of the mayor and council, we would like to commend Officer Michael McCabe for his outstanding efforts. The second accommodation, on behalf of the Milltown Police Department, I want to take a moment to commend and thank Sergeant Michael Dennis for your outstanding contributions to the community throughout December 2024. Your exceptional efforts with the Letters to Santa program and collaboration with your wife Alicia brought joy to countless children and their families during the holiday season. The decorated mailbox for the children's Christmas wish list and festive playhouse you generously provided created a welcoming and celebratory atmosphere to our police station. Families gathered to take photos and experience the holiday spirit, all thanks to your hard work and dedication. Your commitment to going above and beyond your regular duties exemplifies the very best of community policing. Your efforts have not only brightened the holidays for many, but have also enhanced the positive relationship between our department and the community we serve. Please accept my appreciation for your creativity, initiative, and dedication. You have made a meaningful impact, and your work reflects the great credit upon yourself, your family, and our entire department. Thank you and to your wife for spreading joy during this special time of the year. And on behalf of the mayor and council, we would like to commend and thank Sergeant Dennis and his wife Alicia for their outstanding efforts. And finally, Mr. Mayor, we'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Milltown Fire Department and Rescue Squad for escorting Santa around town this past Saturday night. The mayor, Councilwoman-elect Payne, and I had the pleasure of stopping to see Santa and his crew before they took off. When we asked the big guy if he'd be okay with the cold weather, he cheerfully responded, "I'll be fine, as this is nothing compared to the North Pole." On behalf of all our emergency response departments, we want to wish all of our residents a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a peaceful New Year. May your holidays be filled with joy, warmth, and safety. And Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Zambrana?
I have no reports this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. I have no report. Reports from Borough Professionals, Peter Vignolo.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Borough, CME.
No report, Mayor, unless, with exception to, on behalf of the partners and staff at CME, wish all of Milltown a healthy, happy, and prosperous new year.
Thank you. Borough staff, Borough Business Administrator Fred Carr.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick for the council, as you see on the agenda, the bond anticipation notes series 2024. So the translation is that once a year we roll over our long-term debt by going out for bid. This year we had a favorable outcome and bonded for $3.4 million. We had a notes previously of about $2.6 million. We paid off $570,000 of that. We added additional debt of $1.2 million, or about $700,000 over the old debt. That accounts for road improvements, water improvements, an electric vehicle, and other capital improvements that the council desire in town, mainly roads, other capital improvements, for a total of $3.4 million. If you have any other questions, I can answer them later. And that's it.
Thank you. Borough Clerk, Monica Orlando.
Just wanted to let everybody know that it is time to renew your dog license. So the renewal notices did go out to all registered dog owners. Renewal reminder, you have to have rabies that is good through October 31st of 2025. If your rabies expires before then, we cannot license your dog. State rule, not a Milltown rule. Please do not drop it off or mail it in prior to January 1st. We can't process any 2025 payments until after the new year. If you do need rabies, there is flyers here with all the free rabies clinics in the county. They're also at the clerk's window. You can get a copy as a Middlesex County resident. You can go to any of the free clinics in Middlesex County. And that is all for me. Oh, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Does any member of council have any old business to bring before council?
I do. I'd like to speak about our investigation, which I had called mediation, since that is how it started out 7 months ago. It was never spoken about, no updates given, only whispers after 7 months of nail biting, some people on edge. The verdict finally came back, just as I had expected. Some people had a sigh of relief, some people enriched with taxpayer money. To the aggrieved parties, there was no justice, and none will be forthcoming. As long as I'm here, and with what I have learned from this, I'll never vote for something like this again. This will be handled here with our strength and will to do the right thing. Again, we will not fritter away taxpayer money in this manner. With more to do here, I expect the situation to cost more than $20,000 of taxpayer money in attorney's fees. I have another. I'm going to speak about the issue I had brought up at last meeting, the taxes owed at Ford Avenue site. This almost 23-acre site is an elephant in the room, a mystery to most, except for the handful involved, such as Milltown Ford Avenue Redevelopment Agency, present and past council members. Regardless of the argument of exact ownership, name, and I do know the name or names, there is a tax liability on the site. It is over $6 million, and it has not been paid. Milltown has a budget, and we have bills that must be paid. I've seen the bill list, most of us being responsible to pay our bills, if not someone else is paying your bill. And that is how it works. The situation on Ford Avenue is not just $6 million owed, it is a lack of certain ratables on the site for 24 years. That would have brought in tens of millions of dollars to date. Another issue is an area of missed revenue. Construction permits, with several permits needed for each unit, the lack of revenue from this is mind-boggling. Now, considering the taxes due must be paid, the burden for the $6 million taxes falls on the forgotten men, women, and children of Milltown. I hope they understand why their taxes are as high as they are. And that finishes my report.
Okay, I'd like to close all business. Does any member of council have any new business to bring before council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to thank my fellow councilmen for putting together the holiday party for the town employees, and we did an outstanding job, so I'd just like to say thank you for all my council members, fellow council members.
Okay, close new business. Public portion comment of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to council's attention their comments or concerns. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until after the speaker is finished. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. Please state your name and address for the record and when you come up to the podium. Just a reminder that under the rules of council, individuals wishing to speak during the public input portions of the meeting should be limited to 5 minutes, and after other speakers have finished, may be allowed to speak for a second 5-minute period. Does anyone?
Hi, I'm Dory Mercurio. I live at 3 Birch.
Hi, I'm Abby Taylor. I live at 202 Washington.
I'm Margaret O'Donnell, 89 Coutha Avenue. I'm here tonight as a representative of the Milltown Women's Volleyball Program. With me are some of the people who play in the league. Last year in the spring, and again this year in the spring, similar programs for men and women were not priced similarly. They appeared so on the registration forms, but the duration of the programs varied by 50%. That means that the women's volleyball program paid 50% more to participate in a similar program. I'm comparing volleyball in this case to the men's basketball program. When I brought this disparity to the attention of the Recreation Department last year, I anticipated that it would not be repeated this year. We are 52 years out from the passage of Title IX, which brought forth equity in sports. Yet here we are, still fighting for equity. I attempted to resolve this with the staff. I involved the liaison for recreation, and I'm now bringing it to your attention. You looked at rates tonight for water and sewer and passionately spoke, not just tonight, but over several meetings, about how important it was for you to have equity among residents. So, as you prepare for 2025, I hope that you can resolve this for this session, certainly, but going forward, that equity in sport is considered every single year. I'm not sure if you have any questions for me before we step away from the microphone.
No, but I will, I'm sure that whoever is the council liaison for January will be looking into it.
Okay, registration is taking place now, as Councilman Manco noted, and we are certainly hoping for a quick resolution so that people do register for a program that is paid at a rate similar to that of the men's basketball.
I know men's basketball went up considerably as well. As you know, I played in old man's basketball as well. So I know that price tripled when it went up as well, and it went into 2 or 3 sessions over the same time period as it used to be. So I'm sure whoever is going to be having recreation will be looking into that.
So the current rates are based on 12 weeks for a women's program and 18 weeks for a men's program at the same price. I would, again, love for this to be looked at because the program is supposed to begin the first week in January. So if it's possible to resolve it now, that would be great because we may miss out on registrations, we may lose players, so.
Where is it conducted?
At the Parkview School.
Okay.
It's a similar facility, similar duration. It's one night per week for 2 hours of play. This is an open gym style or not a traditional competitive with a certain number of weeks needed because then you go into playoffs and championships. The goal of a pickup or an open gym type program is to maximize play on an individual night as well as for any given session. So a fixed duration does not necessarily make sense to us, but looking at the rate that a men's basketball program using a similar facility, similar duration, similar equipment would be what our objective is. Instead of being offered 2 sessions for the spring or being offered a session that arbitrarily ends in May, we would like to go from January to June paying a similar rate per night that the men's basketball does. So we appreciate your consideration and apologies that it had to come to this level, but I have tried other options to resolve this.
Margaret, I've got one question for you, and thanks for bringing this up. I know you mentioned it last year when I was in the rec meeting and you had brought this up at that time. Out of curiosity, how many participants would you say you have on average for a volleyball night at the gym?
So volleyball can play as much as 6 on 6. Our current league has 14 registrants. We had been in previous years, and I know this will go to what Mayor Murray just stated, when rates began to change, participant levels changed. But we could accommodate somewhere in again, similar to basketball, which is a 5-on-5 game, we could accommodate 18, 20. There certainly are times where we have personal conflicts, expected or unexpected, an illness, dealing with women. We sometimes have people who have childcare issues and things like that, travel and whatnot. So not every participant comes on every single night, but we're anxious to build the program to capacity, and we certainly don't want the inequity in pricing to be an issue.
Admittedly, I haven't, Kim, the head of rec, I know you were speaking with it, so I didn't intercede. I thought she would likely come to a resolution. Just in a quick ask, I know when I was on the basketball league too, there were several, between school closures or holidays, even though the span of when we started in September and we went till late May, there were certainly several weeks where it wasn't active. And I don't know in that idea, and maybe I missed it in some of the emails, if there was a count of actually how many sessions and not just based on date. I know it seems to me that the school itself is aggressive in their rates that the town gets, which doesn't mean that there shouldn't be equity. But I just wondered if they have different schedules for different dates too, or different days of the week.
So when Recreation posts this using Community Pass, there is an opportunity to indicate the exact dates, and often will indicate, for instance, a Thursday evening program has a conflict in the fall with the teachers' convention. So it will say, no game on this date. If there happens to be a makeup that's included, perhaps on a Monday night, that is also noted. But what appears on Community Pass at this time is 18 sessions for men, 12 sessions for women, with no notes of not being able to play. There have been occasions, very frustrating, when dates have been on the schedule and canceled at the last minute. I consider that definitely a separate issue, but because we have been addressing this for so long, Once a schedule comes out, I'll often go to the school schedule and look to make sure that we're not conflicting with back-to-school night, picture night. The gym would be set up for a concert or a graduation, things like that. We've gotten pretty good at that part. So we'll sometimes go back to the school and say, are you sure this date is available? Because I don't like to advertise and have people pay for a certain schedule and then not deliver on that schedule.
Fair point.
So Margaret, I got a question. How much do you say the women pay for the 12 weeks?
If you are a resident, it is $75, and if you are a non-resident, it is $100. This particular session, we have 9 residents and 6 non-residents playing.
And do you know how much basketball is?
Yes, $75 for residents, $100 for non-residents, but the duration of the program is where the price inequity comes, because their session is offered for 18 weeks, and the women's session is offered for 12.
Like 2/3, doesn't sound right.
Margaret, are you interested in expanding? Like you mentioned, are you expanding your, the women's-
Yes, the proposal that we made to the Recreation Department via email was to extend the session to the typical end date that we have in early June, and calculated using a per-night rate at the men's basketball rate, which came to somewhere in the $4.32 range. And that would have made the January to June session a cost of $85 for residents and $110 for non-residents.
It sounds like something that the Recreation Department might be able to provide some further information on as to why those rates are set the way they are, and some justification to it. And hopefully next year, the council liaison for that will push forward to adhere to your request.
Thank you all so much. Best wishes to everyone for happy holidays.
Everybody's got a question.
Margaret,
Oh, sorry.
you sat up here. Do you remember a disparity before? Because I do see this as not being very fair.
So the appearance, and why I brought it to your attention as a council, is you approve the rates that Recreation offers. But when it says men's basketball will be $75 and women's volleyball will be $75 and proposes, a non-resident rate, it didn't indicate that the duration would vary quite as much as it does.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. And happy holidays to all. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Margaret.
Rosa Tavares, 100 Riva Avenue. I promise to be brief. I just wanted to pass on some information for anyone who's concerned about contaminants and/or lead in their drinking water, if they still have a lead service line. There are filtration systems that address both. Reverse osmosis is one of them, actually the only one that I know of that addresses lead. There are entire house systems that are very expensive, but you can also get a system that just filters your drinking water. The system that I have happens to be by Culligan, and then that's hardwired into the plumbing, but there's also systems that are countertop carafes. AquaTrue happens to be one of those companies that has just a carafe that you fill and filters, and it's always available. Anyway, I'm not on commission with either one of these companies, but there's been a lot of concern about that from what I see on Facebook, and I've had a reverse osmosis filtration system for many, many years, and 15 years ago it was under $1,000 to install. I don't know what it is now, and the changing of the filters, obviously that depends on usage, but I change it about once a year, and there's one filter that gets changed every 5 years. So, and that's a couple of $100, so they're not, and then the carafes, I just purchased one for my mom, and it's $200 during Black Friday sales, and the filters are about 100 something. So, for people who don't want to be buying water in plastic bottles. The other thing is just a quick, to make sure that I understand what will be coming in my water sewer bill going forward. So we basically changed or lowered the minimum quarterly amount for water and sewer, but the rate per 1,000 gallons went up on both.
Correct, yeah, we lowered the volume that's included in your minimum.
Right, and the rate.
And the rate increased, yeah.
Right, so in terms of what we may see in our bill, there may or may not be much of a difference from what we just had. It's just a shifting of numbers.
Kind of, yeah, and
Okay.
it depends on your usage.
Right, okay. And then the last thing I wanted to ask was, do we have a new alert notification system? Was that, I know that was mentioned last time, but I didn't take it down. What is it?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember what you can text to. You can go on the website, excuse me, and sign up for it there, but there's a number that you can text. Give me 2 seconds and I can pull that up for you.
I didn't
And it's also on the front page of the website for you to sign up on, but if you give me 2 seconds.
Because it's no longer Nixle, right?
It's no longer
Civic
Nixle.
credit.
Civic credit.
And our board, when it got really ice cold out, apparently went out, so we're trying to figure out, because I had it up on there as well, but let me, I will pull up and I will tell you what it is shortly. I'm just gonna get into my email, sorry.
And is there garbage pickup tomorrow? For those of us, there is not.
Thursday.
38276. So you text the word Milltown to 38276. Thank you, Charlie. And that will automatically sign you up via for text messages. If you want the email sent to you, you'll have to go onto the Borough website.
Okay.
And sign up that way. But 38276, text the word Milltown, 38276.
And it'll work just like Nixle.
Yep,
Right.
It's
perfect.
gonna come the same, that number will come and it'll provide you all the information.
And I can also do the email version.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's through the website. Yep.
Okay, all right, perfect, that's all. And I just wanted to thank you all for working as hard as you did to make the water sewer rate issue kind of come to an end for now. I know it has to be revisited, but I know you all worked really hard, and thank you for being here on the eve of Christmas Eve to make it happen at the last hour, and happy holidays to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Jackie Revelinsky, 32 Elm Place. I want to say happy holidays to everybody and a safe holiday season. I want to thank all the emergency services, police, fire, rescue squad, and I want to give a big thank you to Milltown DPW. They do a great job in garbage pickup. I want to thank Councilman Revelinsky for serving as long as you did. I know that you're fulfilling your promise when you were first elected, that you said, I am not going to be a career politician, and that you hope more people get involved. So I'm hoping more people get involved and seek election. When the new council comes in, I hope political lines are blurred and you continue to work together, and that any issues are dealt with in a timely manner and not kicked down the road and blamed on previous councils or anything else. We're here for Milltown and Milltown residents only. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lee Weisenberger, 99 JFK Drive. Follow up the last meeting, the title search on a railroad vessel.
I'm looking into it, and I will hopefully have an answer to you by reorg, and if I figure it out affirmatively, I'll bring you a copy.
Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate
Please.
it. Along that way, when you were asked to do that, was that done by resolution or ordinance?
I believe it was done by resolution.
I believe it was done by resolution.
It was not a resolution, it was just I believe it was just
A voice vote?
It was a verbal.
I think it was a verbal, we definitely did it at a meeting. I don't think we did a resolution. I think it was just an authorized, and
We
you
all
all
agreed
said
to move
yay.
forward
and-
with it, yeah.
So normal procedure is going to vary? If a title search had been done before, could it been done different?
I don't know the last time we did a title search before this one, to be honest.
Right,
He knows.
you people didn't, but I believe a title search was done on the trestle, so forth, back in '96. And that's why if we're gonna dig into records, whether it was a resolution or an ordinance, or maybe not. I mean, we can narrow it down pretty close, but in order to go digging for it, if it does exist, just curious. So, that'll do it for now. Appreciate it. Have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else from the public, I will close public comment portion of the meeting. Council comments.
Here.
Is there anyone on council that would like to have any comments, please?
Yep, Councilman Kozlowski.
First, this is for Council President Revelinsky. I would like to thank Council President Revelinsky for his years of dedication and his selfless mission to improve and revitalize his lifelong home of Milltown. Even with his shy and retiring demeanor, he impresses others with his knowledge of difficult and important issues that affect our borough. His grasp of water tax and electric figures and nuances has been very helpful and will be missed. I will miss my urgent calls or texts to the council president. He has been a valued guide to me. Thank you, Rich, for all you have done for your community. I owe you a debt of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Two more things unless anyone wants to speak. I'd like to thank my fellow councilmen for helping organize the wonderful Christmas party to celebrate, and thank our loyal employees. The event went as hoped, proving that yes, we can work together. The food was provided by Camilla from Maria's. We fully intended to pay for it. Camilla would not accept anything but a thank you. And it's only fair and decent to recognize those that choose to give of themselves to Milltown and reward them in at least some small yet heartfelt way. I was very happy to have done my part, and I thank you all. And one last thing. As this ends my first year as your councilman, I would like to thank those that trusted and voted for me. I hope that I exceeded your expectations. As for those that did not vote for me, if you think I did okay, I'm sure I wildly exceeded your expectations. I hope to show by my words and my actions that I am here for all of Milltown. I'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, to some a Happy Hanukkah, and Happy, healthy New Year to you and your family. Thank you and good night.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank Council President Revelinsky for his years of service, and I don't know how his wife Jen put up with him. It draws on you and your family, and it's tough, you know, and Monday nights will never be the same. You'll appreciate him being home. I'd just like to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year to all our residents.
I've got a few words. I guess I'll go down. I know the mayor's got a proclamation, but you know, reflecting back on the 6 years I've spent up here, one thing's become apparent, and that is that the old ways of doing things just don't work as well as they used to. It's important that we reinvest in our personnel and reinvest in our infrastructure so that we are better equipped to take on the challenges of our future. Bearing the costs might not be popular, but we can rest assured we're making Milltown a better place for years to come. And part of that comes from, as my mother actually stated earlier, you know, our employees, the borough police who keep us safe, the rescue squad who attend to our needs, the fire department, and especially those borough employees. I'd like to thank the town for the great opportunity that they've provided me. This is a great town, and not just because some politician says so, but because of what this town means to all of you. It is something special to me and my family, and it means something special to everyone who has, does, and will call Milltown home. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude for all of those who have supported me, as well as those who have challenged me to do better for our town. And I can only hope our future holds bright for more residents to step up and use their skills to better our town, as so many residents and elected officials have done before. So thank you, everyone. Have yourselves a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a happy and safe New Year. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go down the line. Council President Revelinsky, thank you for your years of service to our community, and it's been a pleasure serving with you on council. To all of our residents, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a peaceful New Year. Thank you.
I'd like to blame Councilman Revelinsky for getting me up here and then running out in a year. But it's been an interesting year. It's something that I'd never really considered. And, but then again, if there's anything important and it needs to be done, I kind of like to not leave the important stuff just people I don't trust. So I like being up here. And I respect all the years that Rich has put in, and I can see where, you know, it's hard work, and it's not easy. And Ozzy, my dog, will miss all of our walks where we bounced, you know, ideas off of each other and complained about everything else in the world. It is right to be said that Milltown's a great place. I got a nephew who's going to Rutgers. He lives in Pennsylvania, and I've been picking him up and taking him to all these, you know, simple small town happenings. And, you know, he's just thoroughly impressed and enamored with this town, as everybody is. You know, and that's just, there's something great about this town. So I look forward to trying to do some good things, that we can all do some good things. They won't all be easy, but they'll get done. I don't doubt that. Several years ago in my daughter's communion, we had 140 people packed into a restaurant that maxed out at 110, and the day was crazy. The cake wasn't made. It was just a nut house. And at some point someone said, Frank, you have to say something, speech. And I was made fun of for well into a decade. And I said, well, thanks for everyone for coming. It is great to see people here at all these meetings. And beyond that, I said, you know, it's a great day. It's great to know great things. And God bless us all, everyone. And as soon as I said that, I realized I quoted Tiny Tim. But there's a lot of that. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
So, Councilman Revelinsky, I would congratulate you on your retirement, but somehow I think I'm going to see you in the future somehow, some way.
I surely hope not.
Take the time, spend it with your family. That's the most important thing. This is important, but not as important as that. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy holidays, a happy Hanukkah, and a happy Kwanzaa. See you in the new year.
Thank you. I have the proclamation.
I didn't get as dressed up for the occasion as I think you didn't. I didn't.
Nice festive burgundy color. That's nice.
Official proclamation. Whereas the Borough of Milltown Council would like to recognize Councilman Richard Revelinsky for his years of service in Milltown. And whereas Richard resides in the Borough of Milltown and has been raising his family with his wife Jennifer in town. And whereas Richard has been involved in serving the community since being first elected in 2016, serving from 2017 through 2019, then again in 2021, serving from 22 to 24. And whereas Richard was elected to Borough Council in 2016 and has been served as chair of the Department of Public Works and Recycling, Utilities, Board of Health, Recreation, Finance, Administration, Planning, Board Avenue Redevelopment Agency Liaison, and this past year council president. Now therefore, I, George Murray, Mayor George Murray, along with Borough Council and the Borough of Milltown, do hereby honor Richard Revelinsky and thank him for all his hard work and his dedication to the residents of the Borough of Milltown.
Brains.
She stayed out of office.
My comments are brief. So I would also like to congratulate Council President Revelinsky. I would also like to congratulate Jennifer, because it is a family thing, and it takes a lot of toll. As you know, most of us up here either have gray hair or no hair.
Used to have hair.
So it does take a toll on everyone, including the family. But you've done a great service to Milltown, and I thank you. And I appreciate everything that you've done for Milltown and for us as the residents in this council. So thank you. Peter, we are not doing...
There will not be an executive session tonight. I had originally asked Ms. Orlando to place it on peremptorily in the event we needed one. I didn't want to spring it on you guys at the last minute, given the fact that this meeting is on the 23rd, and I think everybody wants to go home. I didn't want to beat you up unnecessarily at the 11th hour, so I'm happy to report that won't be necessary. We can skip that one and right on to the last item on the agenda.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a motion made by Councilman Collins, seconded by Councilman Plazansky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Thank you.
You want to stay, Rich?
Is that Rich getting the last word?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and let us all be safe.
Be safe, everyone. Thank you.